Welcome to One Little Spice, the Disney food podcast that isn't afraid to send you into the taste lab.
Welcome to episode 46. Amazing things come in small packages. I'm Julie.
And I'm Amy.
This week we are talking about the Boma dinner buffet that is in the Animal Kingdom Lodge at the Jumbo House portion of the resort in the same building where Jico, the cooking place, exists. This is also one of the restaurants for our non-park days in Disney.
Say we're still in Disney, Julie.
We're still at Disney.
That's the podcast.
But first, it's time for Amy's Daily Dish. Amy, what's your dish?
Let's dish. Item 1. Let's get ready to make reservations.
Oh my gosh, is this for Galaxy's Edge? Oh my god, I'm so excited!
Yes.
There we go.
Galaxy's Edge, aka Star Wars Land, is opening in Disneyland May 31st. If you are visiting Disneyland with the intention of visiting Star Wars Land between May 31st and June 23rd, you will need to make reservations for you and your whole party to visit, because between May 31st and June 23rd, maybe longer, we'll see, you will not be allowed entry into Star Wars Land without a reservation, and only during your reservation time. There will be no standby land. There will be no standby line at all. And of course, valid theme park admission is required.
So this is not reservations for the restaurants.
No.
This is to get into the park.
As we mentioned before, the expected turnout for the opening of Galaxy's Edge, aka Star Wars Land, is expected to be more than the Disneyland park's capacity, 1.5 or 1.6 of the capacity. So this is their way of keeping it under control, is you have to have a reservation to enter during those two dates. Or should I say, between those 2 dates. Now, the reservation gives you 4 hours of time in Galaxy's Edge, and if you leave before your allotted 4 hours are finished, you cannot re-enter. Now, this is just to get into Star Wars Land. This is not a reservation at a restaurant. This is not a fast pass for a line. This is just literally you being allowed to be in Star Wars Land, Galaxy's Edge. Now, if you are staying on property for your visit during this time, you will receive a designated reservation for access during your visit, 1 reservation per designated guest, and if you cancel your resort reservation, your reservation to access Galaxy's Edge will also be canceled automatically. So there's no, making a reservation and canceling it, but then you can't do that. It won't work. So, you are always supposed to list and pay for all guests staying in your hotel room. We always do. That's not an issue. Some people try to sneak it by. This is definitely not the time to try to sneak people in your room or forget to list your under 3 children, which I understand a lot of people forget to list their under 3 children because they don't require tickets. Don't forget, because they will need to be on your reservation in order to get in. For the rest of us not staying at the fabulous Disneyland hotels, you'll be able to make your own reservations on May 2nd, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Aside from making sure you have your Disney account and you are signed in and ready to go before 10 a.m., that is all I can tell you right now. Further information and instructions will be available at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on May 2nd on the Disney Parks blog and Disneyland.com. I'm guessing that the reason they're doing this, because it's very unusual for them not to just give you the information right ahead, is to avoid scammers being able to set up something to flood the system and get all the reservations and ruining it for everyone. Or maybe they're trying to avoid the not so nice people of the internet that want to hack into the Disney site and bring it down because they just want to be jerks. Now, the only way to guarantee you will have a reservation during this time is to stay on property. Rooms are booking up fast, and there are far fewer rooms on property to be had in Disneyland than on Disney World, so book now. Like, maybe pause the podcast for a second and go book.
I know that the night before the opening day is completely sold out.
Oh, yes, but this is, like, during
It's a period.
during May 31st and June 23rd. So, yes, if you're planning to go during those days and you need to make a reservation, stop what you're doing and go do that now, and then come back and you can hear item 2. As always, restrictions apply, and I would expect some major waits even with your reservation, so show up a little early, or if your reservation is later in the day, ask if there's anything ask cast members in the general area of the Star Wars entrance area if there's anything you should know or need to expect before your reservation, and maybe pick up some line snacks and a beverage on your way if you're feeling a bit peckish and there seems to be even though there isn't a standby line, there seems to be a reservation line. And remain calm and try not to start a panic because there's going to be 1 million people there. I don't literally mean 1 million, but
as close to 1 million as Disneyland can get without being over capacity.
Exactly.
I'm so excited for this.
Yes, I was just going to say, and how do you feel about this, Julie?
So it's from May 31st to
June 23rd. So
okay,
not
so
a full month,
sounds like by the time we're in Disney World, our Disney World. So I'm trying to figure out if we'll need to make reservations, and how it seems is that if we open August 29th, we probably won't have to make reservations. Which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I would honestly prefer it if we had to make reservations. I don't want to stay in line. But this may, for the Disney World people like us, this may be completely different for us than it is for the opening in Disneyland.
Correct, because they may decide that this doesn't actually work,
if this is an absolute mess, they may have to go in a different direction completely. We don't know. So the 4-hour time frame is technically on the honor system. But I feel like it's going to be just like the ticketed event parties where you get a wristband or something like that.
And I assume that it's also one of those things that, how there's extra magic hours where you could totally be in the park after hours, but they scan your band if you're going on any of the rides.
Yes.
So you can chill out in Star Wars World, but the second you try and go on a ride or...
Yes. I imagine, honestly, during this time that once it's been determined that maybe you are over your time allotment, I would not be surprised if they have people going around to essentially usher people out, because it is going to be so many people and so many people trying to get in. But, if you get a reservation and you've enjoyed your 4 hours, be cool. Don't try to ruin it for other people. Just, you can take your time leaving, stop in the gift shop. No one's ever going to throw you out of a gift shop.
And I know it may not seem like it at times, but Disney is very good at crowd control.
They really are.
So they're anticipating everything. Yes. I'm sure that they will have this under control. And it's one of those things where when we went to Hollywood Studios to ride Slinky Dog, and we were there for Rope Drop, and 1 million other people were there for Rope Drop as well, nobody got ambushed.
Nope.
Nobody got trampled. Yes, there were a lot of people, but Disney did a really good job of corralling us, if you will, back to the Slinky Dog ride.
Like, I have no question that Disney is going to be on point security-wise, crowd control-wise for this, but at the same time, if something was going to go awry during not a park opening, because obviously this isn't a park, but this is essentially a park opening, let's be honest, park area opening, a big opening, this would be the one that something would go wrong, because with a lot of the other large areas opening, park areas, it's pretty much Disney fans. Well, for Star Wars, we have all the Disney fans and we have all the Star Wars fans. Sure, that overlaps in some people it doesn't. So you're gonna probably find a lot of people in that first month who don't do Disney a lot, don't know how things work. So be kind to people. If you're there and you see someone struggling or confused, put on your best Disney smile and maybe you can help them out and make their day magical simply by answering a couple questions or directing them this way or that, or, explaining small things like that. So, be excellent to each other.
And I feel like the most important thing to remember is everybody that is there is trying to enjoy this park.
Yes.
Let's not start fights.
No. There are enough lightsabers to go around. There probably won't be, but
Disney's really bad at planning these things. But
I would have to say that
I still haven't gotten my Oogie Boogie popcorn container.
I would have to say that except on purpose, I would imagine that this is going to be the best stocked opening time period merchandise ever. But yeah, so be cool to each other and let us know all the wonderment. Item 2. This summer, Magic Kingdom is in for a wicked good time.
Oh, I'm so excited.
In the non-Massachusetts meaning of the word. But, and we'll get to the but at the end.
Oh my god, Demo's gonna touch the butt!
Tickets go on sale April 29th for the new Villains After Hours party. Select nights between, it auto-corrected to Rule 6th instead of June 6th. So between June 6th and August 8th is when the party will happen. Hades and a rockin' DJ take over Magic Kingdom for the night. The Central Plaza will be transformed into a club scene-like atmosphere for the evening, and Hades, with Meg by his side, shows up for the Villains Unite the Night show, where he waits atop his throne for the 5 planets to align so he can rule the universe. Mercury through Saturn, that's what the Greeks knew. And oh my gosh, am I so impressed by this tiny piece of historical accuracy. You didn't know this, Disney, but I really needed that. Jafar, the evil queen, Dr. Facilier, and Maleficent show up, and his plot doesn't go quite to plan. Hades' plot doesn't go quite to plan. It's at least a 20-minute show. I imagine similar to the Hocus Pocus Villain Spectacular, but I imagine the show is also very, very different.
And it's an extra hours event.
Yes. It runs 3 times per evening on the nights the events are happening. Sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, another really cool thing is Maleficent in dragon form from the Festival of Fantasy Parade will be freed and making her way around the park.
That's amazing.
She has, her minions with her, so she'll be safe. Space Mountain has been taken over by the villains with new sounds and effects. Now, I'm really excited about this because I got to ride Space Mountain in October during the Halloween party where they turned off all the lights. And it was sort of a different feel to it. You might think, well, aren't all the lights already off in Space Mountain? Surprisingly, no. They can turn off even more lights. And it was super amazing, so that's an exciting thing to be happening, the Space Mountain takeover. The Pirates of the Caribbean has live cast members in the queue and the ride for the evenings of the party, which is also super fun and cool. And more than 20 rides and attractions will be open for the event. There will be special food and beverage options for the party, as well as special merchandise, none of which they have told us about, so that's all I can say. Once tickets go on sale, which again is April 29th, they will be $139 plus tax if you purchase in advance, $144 plus tax on the event night if there's any left. Annual pass holders and Disney Vacation Club members can take advantage of a $30 discount and purchase tickets for $109 plus tax. Here comes the but. But there will be no character greetings with the villains at this event. Pause for Julie's lament.
What? Okay, sorry. I'm just saying. What?
That's why I wrote pause for Julie's lament.
Speech. What?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm interested to see how this goes because the ticket prices are considerably higher than the ticket prices for the Halloween party. The Halloween party, I believe, is longer. The Halloween party, you get all the candy. And there's character greetings. So there's no villain character greetings at this event. I'm not sure where that extra comes in. Now, honestly, it is really, 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 really cool to get to see, theoretically, the Maleficent dragon up front. I mean, up close, up front. Up close, like, not during the parade, but we don't know what that is yet. If anybody is going to this event, please, please, please let us know every little detail that you remember and take all sorts of pictures and let us know, because we're really just curious what the big sort of exciting part of this event is, other than it's happening in the summer. So if you can't go at Halloween-ish time, there's some villains. But as you all probably well know, villains are super popular with the adult crowd and the kid crowd as well. So I'm not surprised to see them trying to, make more villains be around for people to see.
Okay, and I'm excited that this is happening, not just at Halloween.
Yes.
Not just at Halloween, because that's awesome. Also, I did the Snow White meal.
Yes.
At Artist Point, the storybook dining with Snow White. The Evil Queen is amazing.
Yes. Wouldn't that be a fantastic meet and greet?
Amazing.
Yes. But yeah, so I'm interested to see what is actually part of this that they haven't mentioned yet, because they were kind of quiet on merchandise. They were quiet on food and beverage options. Maybe there's some food and beverage included. I don't know.
And I feel like coming closer to the event, there's probably going to be some sort of treats or...
Yeah, something like that.
Similar to, there are the Worms and Dirt and the Haunted Mansion dessert treats and the candy corn ice cream that they have at the Halloween, and then the Christmas nachos and the turkey sandwich and things like that they have at the Christmas party. So I am assuming that they'll do something like that, but the biggest thing is you're in the park after hours and they're just theming it.
Yes, they didn't actually tell us sort of when the after hours are, so we don't know if the park closes at like 8 or 9 or 10, or if it's summer hours. Summer hours, they're usually pretty late till 11 or midnight.
I believe that they are starting to close down the parks early. I read this on some blog or some Facebook page where they're starting to lower the hours because they're discovering that people will pay for the extra hours events.
Yeah, that was sort of item 2.
And they are getting rid of extra magic hours at night.
I was going to say that was
them in the morning.
That was what I was going to say. My item 2.2 relates to it. They're getting rid of extra magic hours at night in Magic Kingdom because they have so many events. I liked my Magic Kingdom extra hours. You should, bring them back.
Like when we got to eat at Cinderella's Castle and then be in the park till 2 a.m.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, our dinner reservation was at 11:30. And we got to be in the park till 2 a.m. and get our picture with the lantern from Tangled.
Yes, it was very, very exciting. So if you check this event out, please let us know what you think, what's happening, what we are missing, and we'll go from there. All right, let's talk about some Boma.
Boma was amazing.
It really was.
Now, once upon a time, I was like, hey, Amy, we should do Boma breakfast sometime. And Amy was like, no. Heck no. I don't want to do Boma breakfast. And then her next trip without me, she was like, let's do Boma breakfast.
Strictly speaking, I did not say let's do Boma breakfast.
You put it there as an option.
I gave Phil a selection of options, and that was the one he picked.
You gave him that as an option.
Because there were not very many options. If there had been more options available. So we're referring to now a trip that the planning process started on October 4th, and the trip itself started October 24th. So the reservations weren't even fully made until probably the 5th or the 6th. So at that point is when I'm going, oh goodness, let's make some reservations. And all I had available to me were, I think 2 or 3 restaurants realistically for breakfast for us. And this is the one he picked.
This is what Disney says about Boma, Flavors of Africa. Resembling a lively African marketplace, this restaurant features all-you-care-to-eat buffets at breakfast and dinner. Under thatched roof, savor vibrant flavors from over 50 African countries, along with favorite American classics. Did you see any American classics? the chocolate chip cookies, right?
Literally the chocolate chip cookies, and I think they might have had like mashed potatoes or like
Mashed potatoes.
did I say potatoes?
You totally did.
I was aiming for potatoes, but they kind of had some, let's
Mashed
say,
potatoes.
calm down type of, what they had. So maybe they had some pasta salads and stuff like that as well in the cold bar. But I really wouldn't put American classics. I would put stuff on the menu for people who are not super into the rest of this food, which everyone should be because it's amazing and you should try. If there's any place that I would say try anything, this would be that place.
Yep. At dinner, watch chefs prepare grilled seafood, roasted meats, vegetarian specialties, fresh salads, and house-baked pastries in the on-stage kitchen. There we go. Kids can enjoy chicken nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. It's really, kids can enjoy options like chicken nuggets, while guests 21 years of age and up can delight in unique South African wines. Chicken nuggets? One. Totally the same thing.
I support this.
All right, so we're going to talk about the menu that actually shows up on the Disney website after we talk about the atmosphere. The atmosphere of this place is really cool. So I can't speak to this because I've never been there during the day, because when we did Chico, it was also at night, and Boma was at night as well. Mm-hmm. The atmosphere was very African. They do have the thatched roofs. The color palette was very earthy, warm tones, yep, which was very nice. There was a lot of different patterns and things like that were very African that I really appreciated. I feel like this is also a restaurant that you need to experience during the day while it's still light out, because you can see a lot more of the detail more during the day.
Yeah, honestly, it was pretty well lit, and it didn't really have that different of a feel the way that some restaurants do during the day or during the evening. But yeah, with the natural light, you're gonna get a little bit of a better look at, the decorations, the decor. But it was
and
just
you get to see outside.
Yeah, there wasn't. They sat us.
We sat at a window.
Yeah, no, I meant Phil and I during breakfast. They sat us like right over not in the corner, but not near the window, and I don't think we ended up over near the window. But yeah, it's a very warm, comfortable environment, very unique decor, at least unique around here. It's eclectic.
So, side note, my sister just texted me, and she said she started calling Gavin, who's my nephew, his daycare bag, shark bag, ooh ha ha. And I just had to share that because that was awesome. So this is what Disney has on the menu for their meals. So they have soups and stews that are in rotation. There is a butternut squash soup, a Cape Malay lamb stew, a Ghanaian oxtail stew, a Boro's sausage stew, a spicy Nigerian peanut soup, a chicken corn chowder, seafood gumbo, carrot and ginger soup, hariyar soup, mulligatawny, coconut chicken curry soup, curried butter seafood soup, and a South African lobstered curry. Now, if we look at the pictures that we have of the soups and stews, I can tell you which ones were there when we were there.
Well, Julie's looking. The food at Boma is not spicy in the traditional term of like, oh, so spicy, my mouth hurts, but spicy in that they use a lot of spices. I don't really recall there being anything that was, quote unquote spicy in that way. I imagine that there's a few items that have a little heat to them that Julie,
if you're not used to spice at all,
might seem a little spicy. But
again, I've mentioned this several times. My mother thinks that black pepper is too spicy.
Yeah. So while we didn't necessarily notice anything about it being spicy, the likelihood is there probably were a handful of items with a little bit of heat that, unless you're Julie's mom, probably would still be pleasant, but you'd find it a little spicy. But
Julie's mom has got it going on. All right, so the soups that we had were the curried coconut seafood stew, the chicken corn chowder, the butternut squash soup, and the Ghanaian oxtail stew.
I could have sworn we had the peanut stew.
We did not.
You're right, we didn't. I just really like peanut soup.
Me too. I wish we did, though. So I know that I had the seafood stew, the curried seafood chowder or whatever that was
Yes.
called. That was really, really, really good.
I think that's the one that had scallops, so I
Yes,
could
so
not
you could not have it.
some.
It was so delicious. Okay, so the thing with seafood and like scallops and shrimp, even mussels, they have a buttery taste to them when they're cooked. So this stew, while it was not necessarily a buttery stew,
Like, was not full of butter itself.
correct, was still had a very buttery undertone to it, and it was so delicious and warm. And Amy and I both love curry, and I felt really bad that Amy couldn't try this because it was a very good curry as well. It was delicious. The corn chowder was phenomenal too.
I loved it. I love pretty much all corn chowders.
Oh my gosh, me too. You can't do a corn chowder wrong. Although my favorite corn chowder was Cinderella's Castle Royal Table corn chowder that I had on my first trip to Cinderella's Royal Table on my first trip to Disney ever. And then they took it off the menu. Such is my life.
Such is life.
But this was really good. I feel like it had a little bit of a spice to it. Nothing
Like
that
a
was
heat.
crazy for me and Amy.
Yeah, a little, let's call it a little warmth. A little
Yes.
heat, a little warmth. Not what either of us would call spicy, but
But if you've ever had like a southwestern corn chowder or something
Yeah.
like that, it had a heat like that, but with more African flavors to
yeah,
it.
somebody chopped up some poblanos and threw it in there, and, you know, it kind of gave it a little warmth and a little depth of flavor.
The oxtail soup was incredibly delicious. Do you remember the flavor profile of that one?
Don't.
It was a tomato base, and it had a lot of vegetables, and then obviously the oxtail in it. So it was like a meaty tomato-based soup. Stew. It was delicious. And then the butternut squash soup was really good. It was, your typical butternut squash soup with a hint of African spices.
And I also always love a butternut squash soup.
Oh my gosh, yes. This definitely... Oh, this one it says, Western African-inspired tomato-based stew with tamarind was the oxtail stew. Next on the menu was salads. This is very interesting the way they list this, because when you're going through, it's entrees, soups, salads, salad bar-esque desserts. So it's interesting that they list it on the website completely opposite.
Yeah.
It's not making going through this for you super difficult at
Yeah.
all.
They listed sort of, you'll start with your soup and salad and then go entrees, but it's not how the buffet goes. They start you off with the meat.
So the salads that they have are watermelon rind salad, which I know they had.
And it's really good.
It's so delicious. I mean, watermelon? Yes. Rind? Yes. Salad? What? Yeah. Chicken salad with chili cilantro. Tunisian couscous salad. Roasted turkey. Spinach and quinoa salad. Apple jicama salad. That was also amazing. Pasta salad. Cool slaai. Ghana tomato salad. Pearl couscous salad. Artichoke and preserved lemon salad. Avocado, grapefruit, and papaya salad. Lentil and hearts of palm salad, and chermoula chilled shrimp. They might have actually had all of these things, thinking about it now, because they were all in small little containers, but we're going to check.
If they had the lentil and hearts of palm, I would totally have tried it, because there was a period of time that I was weirdly obsessed with hearts of palm.
Hearts of palm are amazing.
Like, I never bought them. I never ate them. I'd just be really excited seeing them in the supermarket, and I'm like, hearts of palm.
All right, so interestingly enough, the salads that they had at our dinner were different. We had a spinach and quinoa salad, marinated cucumber salad with peppadew vinaigrette. That was amazing. Oh, this one actually is called slaai, so that one might be that one. And then they had a North African cauliflower salad, a roasted eggplant and tomato salad with feta cheese, and then the chermoula cocktail sauce, which was phenomenal. And then they did have the watermelon rind salad, the cool slaw, and the pasta salad. And I know they did have a chilled tomato soup, which they paired with the salad, but that was on the soup menu. And then they had an avocado, papaya, and grapefruit salad. I remember trying that one. I loved that one. That one was super delicious.
Yes, that was. I'm just trying to find it in the picture.
And then they had a mixed salad with greens and shredded carrots, a mango vinaigrette, and lentils.
Fun fact, a lens is shaped like a lentil. And lens gets the name lens from lentils, not the other way around.
Like a camera lens?
Yes.
Very cool. And then they had assorted fruits, watermelons, and grapes in the kind of salad section with applesauce, strawberries, and cottage cheese. All of the salads we tried were amazing. Everything is really good here. And some of the stuff is... So, most of the things here are not what you'd normally expect on a buffet. But that doesn't mean it's bad or different, so different that you would not appreciate it on your palate. For example, the watermelon rind salad. Watermelon salad. Delicious. And then they had some stuff that was, what was the other one that I was thinking of?
The watermelon rind salad, while Julie is thinking, the watermelon rind is shaved very finely, and it's, I don't want to say pickled, but it's essentially pickled, but not like pickly, but like more sweet. So you're not biting into a big chunk of watermelon rind. You're biting into an appropriately sized slice of watermelon rind.
For example, there was a salad that was roasted eggplant and tomato salad with feta cheese. Roasted eggplant, good. Tomato, good. Feta cheese, good. You may not think of adding that combination together, but it was really delicious. So, while these may not be normal dishes that you would expect, not all of them are completely out of the norm for something that you would eat. It's a great place to go.
It really is. It's just it's a different flavor profile, but everything is just amazing.
Absolutely. So for entrees, they have, in rotation, papa and shakalaka, whole Durham-style roasted chicken, whole roasted salmon, boboti, slow roasted pork ribs, roasted turkey, pork shoulder, spice crusted beef sirloin, fufu, and spiced sweet potatoes.
And everything was delicious.
The whole roasted salmon is really awesome because it's a giant slab of salmon.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And you just pull some of it off, which was absolutely incredible. But we had the pap, which is a creamy white cornmeal, the shakalaka, which is a Southern African spicy tomato stew. This was probably the spiciest of the things that we had, but served on, basically what it is it's a pretty soupy stew that you kind of serve on your cornmeal that goes really well together.
Yeah, a lot of these dishes, it's one item that you then top with another.
And then they had mashed potatoes, and they had fufu, which is a Western and Central African sweet and white potato mash.
And it was very good.
So delicious. And then they also had Senegalese salmon with yassa sauce. So this is the whole grilled salmon. It was absolutely beautiful.
Julie,
oh my gosh.
Got a really nice picture.
Oh, and I got the picture before anybody had actually taken any of it. So it's this beautiful piece of salmon. It's huge. And it's cooked with all these amazing vegetables on top. So it's like a tomato-based sauce with peppers and onions, and it's just slathered on top of this salmon. And it was so good. The salmon was perfect. It wasn't overdone. It was nice and moist and amazing. And all the flavors of that topping just melt right into it. Oh, so delicious. And then the fufu, well, it is basically a mashed potato. It's more of, if you ever had like smashed potatoes, it's kind of like that. So it has the skins and there are still some chunks, but some of it's still milky smooth, which was delicious. And then we had the mace and cardamom roasted pork shoulder. So on the actual buffet, they get more specific with how they're cooking these meats. Well, the website just says pork shoulder. And this is, okay, so basically mace is like a pepper.
Yeah, that's where you get, mace.
And like a pepper spray. And cardamom is similar to like a nutmeg or cinnamon in a sense where it kind of has that spice to it.
Yeah, a little bit of like warmth.
Yes.
Warmth to it.
Exactly. And then they had the Durban-style roasted chicken, which it explains Durban is the largest city in the South African province of KwaZulu-Natal. And this is basically a bowl full of the whole roasted chicken broken up into pieces, so you can choose legs or breasts or thighs, and it's all cooked with the amazing seasonings.
Whatever piece of chicken sparks your fancy.
Exactly. And then the boboti is the Southern African dish with ground beef, lamb, mushrooms, and egg.
It's like an African quiche.
Exactly. And I believe they have this at breakfast as well.
I think, yes, they do.
But this was really good.
This is, if I'm recalling correctly, is one of their sort of signature dishes.
Correct. This is their signature.
Yes, which is why they have it at both breakfast and dinner.
Correct. And because it has egg in it, it
easily shows up at breakfast or dinner.
And then they had a tamarind barbecue sauce that was delicious that you could basically put on any of those things, and it was amazing. And then next we have the sides that are in rotation, which is couscous, Juli, plantain crisps, mashed potatoes, peanut rice, spiced sweet potato, coconut rice, spelled with 2 K's instead of 2 C's, and Zulu cabbage. Now, we had different sides because we also had some vegetables. We had asparagus with paprika olive oil, collard greens.
I love collard greens. These aren't the normal way. They had a tomato into the collard greens. These aren't the traditional American way to have collard greens. They were amazing.
They were so delicious. They also had Zulu cabbage, which is a Zulu chef came up with this curried spice recipe in KwaZulu-Natal. We did have the Juli, which was turmeric and cinnamon spiced basmati rice with golden raisins from South Africa.
Yum.
That was delicious. And now a lot of these, we also had the couscous with spinach. I took all of these and added all of the stewy typed items on top of them. Oh, so delicious.
So tasty. And I must say, I feel that collard greens properly cooked anyway are absolutely delicious.
Yeah, and they're still, cut up the way you would have sautéed collard greens in the south of North America.
So I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying collard greens are delicious.
Yes, correct. And there was also beef at the carving station. They also had harira, which was a Northwest African vegetable lentil soup, and I love lentils. This was amazing, and there was just a ton of cilantro drizzled on top of it too, so if you got it as they just put it out, you got this giant spoonful of cilantro, and it was amazing! Unless you don't like cilantro.
Poor Phil can't have cilantro anymore. He loved cilantro. He loved it. And all of a sudden, now he gets the soapy taste. He was very disappointed. We had a long discussion about it. He was so upset that all of a sudden he can't taste cilantro properly. What I'm saying is Phil doesn't hate cilantro. He loves cilantro. He just can't eat it anymore because it doesn't taste right.
And then there were fruit that was delicious. There were some different types of breads that you could have with it. And now a lot of African food is like soups, stews, sauces, things like that. So there was a lot of bread that you could have with it. There was lavosh, which was thin flatbread, mealie bread, which is sweet corn muffin, and then pita bread and French rolls. Those are pretty self-explanatory.
Mm-hmm.
There was some butter, and there was a coriander hummus and a roasted sweet potato hummus. And desserts. So they had key lime cheesecake, guava panna cotta, apple cobbler, assorted cookies and brownies, Kenyan coffee tarts, bread pudding, and zebra domes. And I believe this was what they considered the bread pudding. It was malava pudding. And this is how the episode got its name, because these are teeny tiny, itty bitty cakes, in a sense.
They are cakes.
Not pudding. Yeah. So there are these cinnamon vanilla cakes that are soaked in this magical vanilla something
Sauce.
topped with whipped cream. I made fun of the person that took them before me because she took maybe 12 or 13 on a plate and kept like spooning them onto her plate. And then I took 2 back and I ate them. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm going back for 13 more.
Yeah, no, these were really, really tasty.
They were moist. They were perfect. They weren't too sweet. They were so delicious. And I don't even have a good picture of them because that's how fast they went.
Yeah.
Because everyone apparently loves them.
Yes.
I would go back to this buffet just for this dessert.
Now,
And I don't even like sweets.
the zebra domes are really the more talked about dessert at Boma, but I would have to agree that the little bread puddings, the little cakes with the vanilla sauce are just way better. The zebra domes are really tasty. Don't get me wrong, I am not denying the cult of zebra dome, but
They were super delicious,
yeah.
but these were just next level.
I've heard, and I kick myself now because had I thought of it at the time, I heard that the gluten-free ones or there's some alternative one that they have that are people say, oh, they're way better. So I kick myself for not remembering that.
So as far as other desserts are concerned that we had a lemon rose and blueberry meringue. That was a cute teeny tiny little tart with lemon meringue and a raspberry dollop and a blueberry on it. It might have been a blueberry dollop since it was a
Yeah, I think it was a dollop of blueberry deliciousness.
blueberry meringue.
Cream.
Meringue, technically.
I made so much meringue for Easter.
And then the zebra domes, which may contain alcohol. And they're
Just a
like
little.
a chocolate cake that is dipped in white chocolate and then is drizzled with dark chocolate zebra stripes.
Now, they then place them so the bottoms are coated in the little chocolate flat square sprinkly bits. They're not your traditional sprinkle, but I see them all over Disney. They're these weird little flat chocolate bits that aren't just like chips of chocolate. I don't know what they have the like the panned, the tossed sheen on them and all that. And they are at the bottom. So I don't know, I just felt like mentioning those because I love those.
Yep, I
random
forgot they
little-
exist. But they're like kind of crunchy. You know, like chocolate melts in your mouth.
Yes.
These kind of have a crunch to them.
They crunch and then they melt a little bit.
Yes. Kenyan coffee tarts they almost look like little dollops of vanilla cream,
Yeah, visually that's what they looked like.
but they were coffee flavored and they were magical.
And weren't they in little chocolate?
Oh, yes, they were in chocolate tart shells.
Yeah, so when you look at a photo of them, it looks like they were in a tiny Reese's wrapper, essentially.
Or like a
Little cupcake wrapper. Yeah, but I was just because they're nice. They're like short profile, like a Reese's wrapper. But that is chocolate, and you can eat that. And we did.
Oh, we did. They have plain cheesecake, and they were like individual little cheesecake bites, and they have the gray stuff on top and little chocolate pearls.
Try the gray stuff. It's delicious.
And then they had assorted mini cupcakes, chocolate, vanilla cupcakes, vanilla frosting. They had little brownie bites, chocolate brownies, homemade brownie bites. Basically, a brownie bite is a brownie made in a muffin tin.
It is.
And then they had assorted cookies, so basically chocolate chip and sugar cookies with vanilla sprinkles. Strawberry rainbow sprinkles. So they also have kid selections. They have sea nuggets, which I believe are fish sticks.
That would make sense.
Chicken bites, penne pasta with marinated meatballs, mealy dogs, and mac and cheese.
So in the UK, they call fish sticks fish fingers. And I've always thought that was neat because fish fingers. Now I really enjoy this concept of sea nuggets.
I assume it's like a fish stick, but a chunk.
Yeah, it's a chunk, but I'm just saying I like sea nuggets. I'm gonna hold on to that one. I'm gonna keep that in my back pocket. Sea nuggets. Not an actual sea nuggets, just the name.
Yep. So they do have pressed pot coffee with Kenyan coffee.
Mm.
And then they have, assorted drinks, Coke products, milk, coffee, cappuccino, latte, espresso, yada, yada, yada.
Coconut elixir.
Assorted hot teas. They had a wild strawberry lemonade, which is Odwallow lemonade with wild strawberry topped with lemon lime foam. A sparkling nojito, which is fresh limes, agave, nectar, and mint topped with soda water.
I love clever names for mocktails.
That's very cute. And a coconut elixir, which is coconut water and pineapple and cranberry juices.
Which are like my 3 favorite juices.
And then the specialty cocktails. Amy and I got one of each. I got the Mount Kilimarati, which is our ultimate African margarita. Oh, sorry. Kilimarita. I got the Mount Kilimarita, which is our ultimate African margarita with Patron Silver Tequila, Van de Hum tangerine liqueur, sweet and sour, and a splash of cranberry juice. And Amy got the African Amy got the African rum runner, which is a refreshing combination of pink pigeon rum, blackberry brandy, and banana liqueur with orange and pineapple juices.
What did you call your drink originally?
Kilimarati.
They also have Tusker Premium Lager from Kenya, Casablanca Premium Lager from Morocco, St. George Lager from Ethiopia, and Orlando Brewing Organic Blonde Ale from Florida.
Very authentic to Africa.
Again, we don't normally go over the wine and beer selections.
These ones were just very
exactly,
different.
Unless they're noteworthy, and like Orlando Brewing isn't particularly noteworthy, but
the other ones
the other 3 were. Like, it's from Kenya, Morocco, and Ethiopia. Like, do we even know if beer is like popular there? It could be. Who knows?
All right, so this was an amazing dinner. Hopefully someday I'll get to do the breakfast.
Yes.
I'm not staring down Amy or anything.
She's not staring at me, giving me looks at all.
But this was an awesome dinner. It was really fun to experience a lot of awesome food from African culture. And they still have chicken nuggets if nothing suits your fancy. And sea nuggets. No, that's not creepy. It's not the Twilight Zone. I guess kind of. Sea nuggets, Twilight Zone. You're now entering the Twilight Zone. But I would highly recommend this on a non-park day. It was a lot of fun. Visually, it's fun to look at. Palette-wise, delicious. Enjoy. We do not have a fan favorite food memory for this episode. Please share your favorite Disney food memories with us so we can share yours on the podcast. We love sharing them. We love hearing them. And I'm sure you love hearing us talk about you too. So you can share your Disney food memory via email. Our email is onelittlespice@gmail.com. On Instagram, we are at onelittlespice. On Instagram, we are at @1_little_spice. On Twitter, we are at onelittlespice. So you can send direct messages to us there. And you can also share your fan favorite food onto our Facebook page. Make sure you like our page and join the Facebook group so you can share in the conversation after the podcast is over. We are on Patreon. On Patreon, you can support us there and get a lot of extra exclusives, like extra episodes, a button pack, and some really awesome other features. You can get a signed copy of one of our vlog recipes, or even join us on one of our magical snack corners. So make sure you head to www.patreon.com/onelittlespice and become a patron. We are on TeePublic. That is where you can get all of our merchandise. You can search One Little Spice or click the description below, but there are t-shirts and mugs and notebooks and cell phone cases and some really awesome stuff there. So make sure you support us that way and get yourself some One Little Spice swag. And we are on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is The Taste Lab, so make sure you head there and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our new episodes. We show you how to make some really awesome Disney recipes by either sharing a recipe from the park or recreating some on our own, but that way you can bring a little extra Disney magic into your kitchen. We already have the cheddar cheese soup from Le Cellier that we make into a delicious poutine, and we have the 7-vegetable terrine from Akershus, which is definitely better than what they served there, but a really awesome treat as well. And we will have the Tonga toast and the chopped cob salad coming up soon as well. So again, like I said, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of those. And thank you so much for listening to our podcast. We really appreciate all of our listeners. And just remember, every recipe starts with one little spice. Welcome to episode 46. Boma! Alright, welcome to episode 45. My sugar, my Boma.
my Boma. The central... Yeah, don't nod your head and say, oh yeah, you're doing well, because that's going to mess me up. Is it Jafar or Jafar?
Amy?
Jafar.
Is he from Boston?
No. Jafar. And oh my gosh, am I so impressed with this time. And oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. I couldn't hold it together. I was trying for you to get through that and then you corrected yourself and I just couldn't. Okay. Start with and oh my.
Yes.
I can't. I don't know why that's so funny. I can't.
She can't, folks. She can't.